Hi everybody, I'm back today with a bit of a double review for you of two books that I read at the end of February, or completed at the end of February, and the first of which is actually a novella, and it is Parnassus on Wheels by Christopher Morley, and this particular edition, as some of you may be able to tell, is a part of the Art of the Novella series, which is published by Melville House, which I believe is a UK-based publishing house. And they publish a lot of different novellas in this series, in much a similar fashion as this one, with the title and the author's name laid out like this, and they each have a different color for the front cover. So they're very nicely produced and made. The covers have a nice kind of parchment-y feel, and they have the French flaps. In the back here, there's a list of some more of the titles they offer in this series. So these are very nice. I hope to collect a few more. And so this story focuses on our narrator, Miss Helen McGill, a middle-aged lady who has, for pretty much her entire adult life, lived on a farm with her brother Andrew. And Andrew runs the farm, or at least he's supposed to run the farm, while she stays at home and is the homemaker, takes care of the house, does the meals, that kind of thing. So Andrew is also actually an author, and that's where his true passion lies and his calling is, so he kind of shirks his responsibilities on the farm to go and pursue that career as an author, which irritates his sister, as can be imagined, because while he is off having his adventures as an author and traveling so he can write about his travels and things like that, she's stuck at the farm doing all the housework and also having to take up the work that he's neglecting on the farm as well. So she gets a little bit fed up with this lifestyle, as could be imagined, and so one day a traveling book salesman comes along in his Parnassus. He's traveling kind of like a covered wagon filled with books that he travels in and lives in. There's a little kind of apartment type thing in it with a bunk and a little stove and everything he would need to survive on the road while he's traveling, selling his books. And he comes to the farm one day looking to sell the Parnassus, and he had heard of Helen's brother Andrew and thought that he would be interested in buying it. And so Helen gets quite upset about this because she doesn't want Andrew. She knows he'll love this and snatch it up right away, and he'll be off from the farm just like that, and she'll be left alone there again. So she decides that in order to prevent this, she's going to buy the Parnassus before Andrew can and set off and have an adventure of her own for once. So that's the basic plot of the story. It's a very short novella, obviously. It's only about 150 pages or so. Yeah, about 140. And it's a very charming novel. If any book lover is going to love this story, because it's basically a love letter to books, really, because the traveling salesman that sells the Parnassus to her is kind of a preacher of the gospel of good books, as they say in this story, and he's just very enamored with the written word and loves to tell anyone about it. So it's a very charming, quaint little story. It's definitely worth the time of any true bibliophile out there. You'll definitely love this. It's got a little bit of romance in it as well. I would definitely recommend it. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, so that's definitely a good read. Secondly, I have The Scandalous Sisterhood of Prickwillow Place by Julie Berry. And this one is another middle grade, and it is set in Victorian England in the 1890s, I believe. And it's about these 7 girls pictured on the cover here, who, and I don't know if you can tell, but this is the dead body of their headmistress of their school, who, at the very beginning of the book, like the first 2 pages, I think, she is having afternoon tea with the girls, and her brother is also there, and they're just having tea, going along their business, and their headmistress takes a bite of her veal and instantly drops dead. And then a few minutes later, the same thing happens to her brother, and the girls decide that instead of calling the authorities and reporting this, they're going to bury their headmistress and her brother in the garden and cover it up so that they can all stay at the school and have independence and just live there themselves as a nice little scandalous sisterhood. So obviously this is a dark comedy, and it is excellent. I enjoyed it very, very much. It's extremely well written. It's unlike anything I've really read before. All of the characters are very memorable. They each have there's seven of them. So as you can imagine, it's kind of hard to keep track with at the beginning, but they all have such distinct personalities that you pick it up in no time, and it's not too hard to remember who is who. And actually, before each of their names, there's an adjective that Julie Berry has assigned to them. Like there's Scandalous Mary Jane, and Smooth Kitty, and Pocked Louise, who had smallpox or chickenpox or something when she was little and has scars from that. And so the author Julie Berry uses those adjectives before the names of the girls very often, so that actually really does help you remember which one is which, given that one adjective that's kind of distinctive for each girl. All in all, this book was really great. It was a real page-turner. I got through it in a few sittings, I think. It was a lot of fun, a good, murder mystery story, because we don't know who has poisoned the meat that killed the headmistress and her brother. So they're trying to figure that out while trying to still cover everything up and deal with having to run the school all by themselves. So it's a really good book. I would definitely recommend it. And obviously this cover is gorgeous. I mean, look at that. And then in the front pages, there are actually more pictures of the girls with a little description of them. So that's really nice. It's a nice little touch. I enjoy things like that in books. So this was great. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars as well, I believe. So there you go, guys. Those are the 2 reviews I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope I did a good enough job of explaining the books, and I would definitely recommend both of them. They're wonderful reads. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer anything you want to know. And yeah, I think that's all I have for today, so thanks for watching. Bye.